Get ready for the only podcast proven to control tartar and fight gingivitis. Nobody likes onions.
It's the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th year times 2 of the 21st century. It was a night just like tonight. A baby boy was born. We shall call him Patrick. And he shall scream about tiny gay men henceforth into a microphone, and will be hereby commenced as okay. Hi everybody, welcome to the Veterans Day edition, my birthday edition of the show. It's 11:11. It's very late at night. And do you know where your dad is? Where you keep your dad? Welcome to the show. We're gonna have a real loose one here tonight. But I do have some insane things that we should probably go over together. I have a story tonight that I don't think anyone else has. I've Googled this. No one else has it. I have info from people who are there. Agent O strikes again. But I have a story for you tonight involving a comedian that you might know. And nobody else has a story, and the police were involved, and I think it got swept under the rug because celeb, people are saying, nice hat, thank you. You can buy these hats over in our store, of course, where we have all new merch to keep you warm. Look, these hoodies are the most comfortable hoodies you've ever had or worn or have been made. They're nice and embroidered. They're soft AF. They're fleece. But yeah, we got new hats. The whole new Ty Rivera line of clothing is out called For Me clothing, featuring tableaus of Ty Rivera's life. So check that out over at nobodylikesonions.com/store. Buy yourself something great. Okay, you're going to get something for your dad. I just had a delicious dinner. Oh my God, I'm so full. I went out to, I like to go out. I don't go out very often and have a nice dinner somewhere. So I like to do it a few times a year. But on my birthday, I like to go to a nice steakhouse. And tonight was no exception. And let me tell you something. I've had some bad luck the past couple of years. I think in 2020, I went to Hank's. Now, I know what you're thinking, Patrick. You go to a place called Hank's and you get a bad steak. You can't really blame anybody but yourself because Hank, But I'm saying, no. This is a really nice steakhouse in the Green Valley Ranch Resort. And I go out there. It's a great experience. It's one of these ones where, again, it's 300 guys running around taking care of you. It feels gratuitous. And then, you're paying $200, $300 for a meal just to have a nice time. And The food like didn't come out. Like in between like my salad, I love a good wedge salad. In between that and my food coming out, it's an hour. And I realized like, oh, this fucking guy forgot to put it in, and they come out and apologize, yada, yada, yada. Then the steak's not right. So I order a steak medium. Call me gauche if you want to. I don't care. I like a medium steak, a perfectly medium steak. And I think that's just the sweet spot. I can go a tad under, but don't get crazy with me. And they bring it out like, cool rare. So the following year I go to, where did I go? Carver Steak in Resorts World. This is a brand new restaurant last year. Gorgeous. Or maybe I went for an anniversary or something. I don't know. I went there. And again, they bring this steak out. Now, it comes out on time, but they bring this steak out. I cut into it. It's juicy red rare. Rare. And I send it back, and they literally take the 2 pieces of steak and throw them on the grill again and bring me back one very well done piece of steak and one, medium well. So it's like, Jesus Christ. I don't even know a place, you're paying $90 for a ribeye, why can't you fire up another one? I gotta get a steak that you've cut in half for me and refire. Like Outback Steakhouse wouldn't do that. They'd refire a steak. I don't understand. It's 5 minutes, So, disappointing to say the least. I walk out of there. That steak, by the way, was the worst. Talk about no marbled fat throughout. This thing just had gobs of like gross white fat, not translucent, not rendered fat. This is like just big chunk. It wasn't a great cut. So tonight, I try something different. I go down to Circa downtown. I actually haven't been to Circa. This is the nicest new hotel downtown. They've got a gorgeous sports book outside in this giant pool area. But it's a new casino downtown, which, there's not many. They refurbish them all the time. This thing is gorgeous. Huge tower. It sticks out downtown. And they got a steakhouse in there called Barry's Downtown Prime. And it's there's not a bad review of the place on Yelp. So I'm like, here we go. Barry's Downtown Prime. It looks nice. Look it up. It looks gorgeous. Had a very nice steak there, but got sick afterwards. Not sure if from the food or not. From Barry's or from Carver Steak. I'll never go back to Carver Steak again. It was ridiculous. You're not gonna refire the steak. You're gonna throw the steak. They brought me back like one half. It was like, well, it was like great. Like I would have been happier with an Outback Steakhouse steak. Say whatever you want about Outback Steakhouse. You know what you're getting, and it's like $15 for a 12-ounce steak. So it's like I understand it's not dry aged shit. So yeah, I went to Barry's tonight. Everything was smooth. Everything was great. The restaurant's gorgeous. They have a DJ. It's nice. It's not overbearing. It's good music. Whoa. People are ordering things. Somebody forgot to shut his email. No, because I wanted to show you this email I got tonight. This is part of it. Anyway, so the steak comes out. And again, thank you. People are giving Amazon gift cards and even Venmoing me money and stuff. But order stuff. Enjoy your life. Everything you do to support the show, I appreciate. Thank God. Somebody in the chat is saying they got sick from food there. They had the berry steak 12-ounce rib cap. Yeah, this is what they're famous for. Is this thing called the berry steak? It's the rib cap. And they marinate this thing for 24 hours in olive oil with garlic and shallots, I think. And it's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to like melt in your mouth. It's supposed to be like butter. I didn't want to go for that. I got the dry aged. Another order. Thank you so much. So I got the dry aged ribeye, and this thing, oh my God, they have A5 Wagyu for like $49 an ounce. You got to get 4-ounce minimum. They had a lot of good stuff. They had a tomahawk steak that was sick. This thing looked sick. I watched them wheel it over to someone's table. It reminded me of the Flintstones. When they would get like the brontosaurus rack of ribs and they would like drop it on the tray on the car and it would like tip the car over. That's what it looked like. It was fucking nuts. So I got broccoli gratin. They didn't have regular broccoli. That's usually a go-to for me. I love broccoli. And they got the baked potato. They do a $60 lobster mac and cheese served inside of a lobster shell. Just the whole lobster husk. I don't like seafood, but they do some crazy shit. Barry was there, the guy the restaurant's named after, and he was doing an at your table like lobster flambe or some horse shit. I don't like seafood, but I would have liked to see Barry come over and work it. It really does melt in your mouth. Hadn't had a steak like that before, too. I'm uncultured to really appreciate it, but it was great. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, Enjoy your life. All you're paying for with a tomahawk steak is a stupid bone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of I like a good amount of steak, and I want it to be really flavorful, and that's why I find the ribeye. A porterhouse, I'll go, But these people go like even a good New York strip, if it's good, if it's got some marbling. But I go with the ribeye. This thing comes out. I'm not kidding you. I cut into it. It's fucking rare in the middle. It's like fuck. Now I eat the end of it, which is like medium rare, I guess. And it's fucking delicious. This thing is so good. It's so good. So I just bring it home. I tell the guy, I go, look, it's rare. And he's like, do you want me to refire it? And I thought they'd fucking ruin it again. So I was like, no. I was full anyway with the wedge salad and everything. They have really good bread there. They do a bone marrow fettuccine Alfredo. I hate a steak that's not the same throughout. It's not even that. It's just like, how do you not nail medium? It's the most requested temperature of steak. It's the most requested temp. Most people like it medium. And it shouldn't even matter when you're paying almost $100 for a fucking steak. Local restaurant here does A5 Wagyu for 4-ounce minimum, $35, and it's great. That's great. So I just had them wrap it up, and I'll tell you what you do. You preheat your air fryer. You throw that thing in the air fryer. You get it room temp, maybe even just a little cold in the middle. You preheat your air fryer. You throw this on the air fryer for 2 minutes, and I swear to God, the outside will be sizzling and the inside will be pink. It'll be delicious. So I brought it home, and they do the thing where they bring you a free dessert to, like, make up for them fucking up. As if, like, you know what I mean? It's not a giant fuck up. I had a lovely meal. Everything was great. I'll go back there. It was really good. I do think the prices are a little crazy. You're used to going to a steakhouse where you're like, oh, the broccoli's $15. The baked potatoes, $20. Like, that's what they do. Not this place. This place is like French fries are $24. They're pushing it a little much, I thought. You want to kind of rein them in a little bit and go like, this is downtown, right? This isn't on the strip. You guys are acting like you're Aria up in here. I can't get how an expensive steakhouse can fuck up a steak. That's some Outback level shit. It's not, is my point. Outback doesn't fuck up their temps. I think Outback cooks every steak the same amount of time, and how they adjust their temps is by how thick of a steak they give you. So like, you want it rare, you get a thicker steak. You'll get a smaller but thicker steak. You want it medium rare, it'll be slightly bigger footprint and thinner. That's how Outback does it, and that's how they nail their fucking times. I've had a lot of steaks at Outback. Look at me. And I've rarely had to send back a steak. Always medium rare. Yeah, it's fine. I guess look, I can eat a medium rare if it comes medium rare. But when it comes and you can, like, you know what I mean? When it's not even cooked. Like, it's cool pink center. Kind of gelatinous looking. Yeah, the fries were out of control. I forgot that, and they were not special at all. I'm going to tell you, the broccoli gratin wasn't great. It was a little soupy, just like cream. That said, I will go back. They have a lot of different sides. The steak was a great steak. It's going to be great. I enjoyed every bite of it. None of it was too marbled. No big fatty, gristly garbage hanging off like a Carver steak. I think the other good place I've really had in Vegas, but this was years ago, maybe 10 years ago, was Cut. I think that's in the Venetian. That was really good. And believe it or not, who makes a really good steak? Herbs and Rye on Sahara. It's a little bar steakhouse. Herbs and Rye. They do a really good steak. Medium rare with crispy fat for me. Ew, that's my body type on OK Putrid. Nailed it. If you go to a nice steakhouse and order a steak, well done. They should take you out back and shoot you. Who did that? Were they black? Are there any black people in the chat? Where's Penny Prince? How do you like your steak? I have met black people who say that they do like a well done steak. The thing is, like, if it's good steak and it's well done, it's probably good. But yeah, you wouldn't want it like that. Gotta go to Italy. They have a nice ribeye, cheaper than usual strip place. I do want to go to Italy, but if I go to Italy, I probably won't get a steak. You gotta get some of the pasta. Make it up. Well, bleh. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, can I tell you the thing that I know that no one else knows? If this is true, this is fucking crazy. I got to be very careful how I read this. This is from Agent O. And it's very, God damn it, with the weed. This is very crazy. This is very insane. Again, this source I have received tips from in the past. So I have to, before I say any of this, I just have to let you know, as close as this source has never been wrong for me, for the show, and has brought great material before. So I have to make it clear, I'm giving as close as I can my guaranteed stamp of approval on this, that this happened. But I have to say allegedly, and I have to say 99%. This source has 100% visual confirmation, dog. Here's what apparently transpired. This is fucking crazy if it's true. I guess what's today? I guess Wednesday, maybe earlier this week. There's a comedian at the Comedy Store in LA who is a paid regular at the Comedy Store. What that means is their name is on the wall and they can call in for spots and get paid to do spots. He's also a bartender at the Comedy Store in LA. And his name is Josh Martin. Okay? Josh is the guy that some people would say started Roast Battle a long time ago in the kitchen at the Comedy Store. So my source says that this is 100% true, that a few nights back, I don't have an exact night for you, but I'll try to get clarity on this. And I've reached out to somebody else who may know about this. Josh has been very vocal about Leslie Jones, who you may know as the guy that played the large black woman on SNL. JK, don't sue me, so Josh Martin, this paid regular at the Comedy Store and bartender, apparently tells everybody that Leslie's not funny and gives her shit and talks mad shit about Leslie Jones, former SNL fame and the girly version of the Ghostbusters. He used to be the producer for Kill Tony. Okay, so this guy, Josh Martin. So apparently a few nights back, Leslie Jones, linebacker for the Bears, attacked Josh Martin. Punches and kicks were thrown. Security had to intervene. They had a hard time holding her back because she's big. The security guards at the Comedy Store are pretty big dudes. It took a few of them to hold her back. She kept yelling, "Talk shit now, bitch. Talk shit now, bitch." And this part we're not 100% true on, but it seems like Josh Martin has been fired from the Comedy Store after this incident. And Leslie was only told, like, don't let that happen again. So no charges were pressed. Leslie wasn't banned for physically assaulting not only another comic, paid regular of the club, but she physically assaulted someone on your premises, and that guy gets fired. So I may have more on this later. I literally have spies at the Comedy Store right now looking into this. I'll find out if he got fired. I'm pretty sure he did. From what I'm told, he may still get spots, but that's going to be difficult. One of his complaints about Leslie Jones is that she constantly shows up at the Comedy Store and bumps people. For those not in the business, the Comedy Store, produces pretty tight shows. They give everybody time slots. You're supposed to be there for your time slot. And they run a rolling show. It goes all night long. And they run other produced shows and stuff in the other rooms. But for the most part in the OR, it's just rolling, baby. And you'll have these big stars stop in there who aren't on the schedule and say, I want to go up. I want to work on this. I want to do this. I want to work on that. I got a Conan spot coming up, as if that fucking means anything. I'm working on a set for this. I'm working on my new special. Can I run some stuff? You'll have these guys show up, people who are notorious for doing this. Tim Allen. Apparently, Leslie Jones does this all the time, where she shows up. She bumps somebody who's scheduled. She goes up. She does, a lot of times they're not respectful. They do a lot of time, eat up a lot of other people's time. And then people have to go home, instead of getting their paid spots. Or it puts the whole show running really late and behind. So apparently this guy, Josh Martin, gives Leslie shit for not being funny and for bumping people constantly at the Comedy Store. Now he's fired after she assaults him. I imagine she's struggling. She may have struck security personnel at the club. Who knows? What's going on? Why? And I understand. Somebody in the chat says if you're bumped, you get paid generally. I don't know the Comedy Store's policy for paid regulars. Every show I've ever done at the Comedy Store was like just a walk-in spot or like on a produced show. So I've never been, produced shows, you're probably not getting bumped. It's people in the main showroom. So, and I don't mean the main room. I mean the original room. Sorry, it's confusing for people who don't know the Comedy Store. So, yeah, if this is true, Leslie Jones is a giant piece of shit. Like, Google this. Nobody's got this story. No one's talking about it. It seems like it either happened in the back of the Comedy Store, where probably not a lot of people saw it, or late at night, maybe, where not a lot of people saw it. I want to turn this. Just in case anything comes in here. Anyway, from what I'm told, he may be looking into suing. This could get insane. Because you not only this isn't even just a customer that a comic assaulted. It's not even just a comic, an independent contractor on property getting assaulted by another independent contractor of yours. It's not even that cut and dry where she's solely independently responsible. This is an employee of the Comedy Store, and not in the way of comedy. He's a bartender. So he gets assaulted, you cover it up, and you fire him from his job, probably at Leslie's bequest. Request? The prosecution rests. the point is, if this is true, that's crazy. So look for more of that story. That's going to be great. The ones we have tonight, huh? Anything you guys want to jump into right away? It's my birthday, but I had several $14 Amstel lights at dinner. $14. That's what they charge for a draft Amstel light, and it was the size of a 12-ounce can of Cola Pop from your local Winn-Dixie. So, yeah. I don't generally like that. CF says, as if it matters, not exactly good for a club to get into a high-profile scuffle with well-known struggling black comedian Leslie Jones on behalf of some white guy comic only known to insiders like Patrick. I don't know Josh Martin. I don't know who that is. So, I'm not an insider. I haven't been to the Comedy Store in years. Probably 4 years I haven't been to the Comedy Store. So I don't know the guys who run it now. I don't know the guy who's behind it. God knows. Who owns it? Pauly Shore? Is it just Pauly that owns it? But I don't know the guys who book it and run it. But the guy no one else will. What? He's so weird. CF, you're so weird. But you know who he is, no one else will. I don't. What are you talking about, you dope? I have no idea this guy even existed until I was given this information. We all know what Kill Tony is. We all know what the roast battle is. So this guy was like the starter of that or the producer of that. And a bartender at the club. That's who he is. You know as much as me now. We're all caught up, CF. But you know the guy who he is. Are you okay? Fuck, man. Sometimes I wonder with you people. Do they just let anybody in these chat rooms? How does it work? Bounce, motherfuckers. I don't know who we want to get into first. We have fellow podcasters to talk about tonight. And I know we do it almost annually, but I must address Keith and the girl. These grifters. Ooh, more people are buying merchandise. Thank you so much. Head on over to nobodylikesonions.com/store and buy the merch. They are, and I shit you not, this isn't a joke. This isn't a bit. It was so fucking funny when we did it in 2015. I'll never forget making fun of them for like buying virtual servers and like multiple computers to run their chat room. Do you remember this? I'm not kidding you. They're still doing it. They are still asking, and I shit you not, and this is why I'm not ashamed to ask you to throw me some bones tonight for my birthday, huh? We're having a celebration. They are asking for $25,000. Oh my God. Thank you so much. What is that? Oh my God, that's $43.43 from Susan Joe. feels good. She says, happy birthday. Thank you so much, Susan Cupcake Jones, who I'm starting to think is not a real person. $25,000 for their Flash chat room and multiple technicians. I'm not kidding you. You've got to see the list of what they're charging people for. I also have a video that was sent to me of our old friend Josh Denny, who was on a podcast saying, and this is just as wackadoo to me as you. He's saying that when he heard about what happened with Kanye and his shoe company, Yeezys, Adidas, that's what it should be called. He knew that him and Kanye were destined to meet. I've only skimmed through this interview. It's fucking insane. He knew him and Kanye were destined to meet. And Kanye West, yay, Yeezy, God, Jesus himself, Jesus, Kim Kardashian's husband, Kanye, called Josh Denny, and they just talked for hours about shoes and life and what it's like to be canceled. Did you hear me? Because that's it. Our old buddy Josh Denny says he had an hours-long conversation with Kanye West. Now, is it real, or is this another prank from the mind of a man who also came up with the Gavin, what's his name? Gavin McInnes prank. The FBI raids Gavin McInnes live, which became insane and dumb. So, do you believe that Josh had an hours-long conversation with Kanye West and that they might collab together and Josh may be in charge of his new shoe company? Or is this another Josh prank? Is he trying to get like TMZ to run a story, trickle Latham over there? Because Denny said the N-word. That Kanye's now working with a racist ex-shoe guy from the corporate world to make his new shoes. Is he trying to get news outlets to run with that story and then have a big and Kanye comes out like, I don't even know that motherfucker. You got Josh. That's what CF's trying to get that going. I think that's great. You got Josh. You got Josh. Is that where the phrase comes from? You got to be joshing me. Surely you're joshing. Josh and Casper are rapping on Ye's next album. Yeah. I'm sure that's what's going to happen. So I don't know what to make of this. My instinct is that it's fake. We can watch the video. We'll break it down. We'll get your thoughts. So that's the menu tonight. We've got Keith and the girl. We've got Josh Denny. We do have some cool cat stuff to talk about. Probably. There's no Thai news. SNL is protesting tomorrow night. The writers are protesting. Chappelle appearing on the show. I can't imagine it not being funnier. Like, oh, there won't be a writer's room of woke idiots to run everything through? By the way, how many of them? How many of them are not participating? And what's the word? Whatever. Hey now, bump. Whatever happened to like, fuck you, you're fired? I guess there are contracts and unions and all this kind of shit now. But are we really in a better place if like your boss goes, we've got a guy coming in next week to do some work here in the building, and you go, I don't like that guy. I'd be like, that's great. Anyway, we've got a guy coming in next week to work in the building here. It's like, I guarantee you all these writers are like white girls or white boys. So weird. You know what I mean? So what are you protesting? And how many of them? There's unrest at 30 Rock, page 6 hears, over the decision to sign Dave Chappelle as host Saturday Night Live this weekend. We're told some staff writers are so furious that the comedy superstar who has made transphobic and homophobic jokes. Now, again, we're allowed to just say that as if it's fact. You know, a lot of people and even trans people think that his jokes aren't transphobic or homophobic. These are opinions. And now news outlets print it. Like, the transphobic comedian has been chosen to helm the iconic show, that they're sitting out the episode. They're not going to do the show, but none of the actors are boycotting. It's like, yeah, because he's a comedy superstar. It's like any of these writers, I imagine, would be more than thrilled to join him on tour or be in a movie or a show if he asked them to. What's the problem? CF says, fuck you, you're fired as Alive and Well at the Comedy Store. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe Lorne Michaels has reach. And I heard you pissed off Leslie. Could you fire that bartender? That's my Lorne. This show is off the fucking rail. Oh, by the way, and they're getting Jimmy Kimmel to host the Oscars again, and they're putting it up. They're announcing it. They're loving it. Promoting it like Jimmy's back. It's like Jimmy Kimmel was the best Oscar host in a long time. Then you snubbed him when the Kevin Hart thing happened. You had Jimmy 2 years in a row. Then you asked Kevin Hart. Then you dropped Kevin Hart. Then you asked Jimmy Kimmel, and he said, fuck you. Then you said the Oscars aren't going to have hosts anymore. This was 2019. And then 2020, no host again. And then 2021, no host again. And by the way, no one's watching it again. No one's watching this anymore. 18 may have been the last year anybody ever watches the fucking Oscars. And now you're like, Jimmy's back. We're going to do the show again. It's like no one cares. No one's coming. Who? So I find it super embarrassing, as if we're all into Jimmy Kimmel anymore. It's like all these guys are literally just like on the thing every night, like telling you what to think now. They're not even trying comedy. I think SNL like tried to roast Biden last week. It was one of the saddest. It's like you're not even you're trying to make it look fair, like you're making fun of the other guy, but you're not. You're not even really getting into it. So, yeah, I find it very, very strange and odd that, first of all, Lauren knows what he's doing. I imagine all of this is just to drum up publicity and conflict, and it'll get eyeballs on SNL, which they really, really need. You're going to get a lot of, basically what this is doing is letting a lot of people who had no idea know that Dave Chappelle's on SNL this weekend, and they're going to get a lot of eyeballs. Talk to me about how many sponsors canceled ads. Like, no, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on SNL. I imagine if the most woke crybaby writers are sitting this one out, it'll probably be funnier because those people are probably wet coffee filters in the writer's room. You know what I mean? Anytime anything funny is about to be put down on page, they go, up, 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 up. Probably have an objection. You heard it here first. Patrick works for Lauren. I don't even know what that means. So I know Lauren's not stupid. I understand that they will get a lot of press out of this and stuff, but it's fucking retarded. Like, fire these idiots. It's like Netflix employees spent time at work organizing anti-Netflix sentiments and groups and communities and petitions. It's like, you're all fired. You're all fired. This is what's happening right now with the Twitter guy. Like, all the Twitter employees are melting down. It's just like, how could he come in here and make decisions? The complaints that you're seeing on Glassdoor and Blind and sites like that where employees review companies, they're like he came in to Twitter. This used to be a human forward, compassionate, feelings driven company, and now, you know, he's just in here making decisions. Only wants to keep the employees that know what they're doing and have a work ethic. It's terrifying. I am literally shaking right now. They were dismantling the nap pods and said something about putting in desks. Hello? Where did the wood for those desks come from? Did you even talk to the Inuit people? It's like, whoa. Sounds like we hired a bunch of fucking dorks at the companies. And it's time to burn them down and let these fucking latte sipping, nap needing fucks have to go apply for a job for once. One time. Somewhere else. Give Biden a break. He's old. He's running again. It's really happening. They think he can run again. Do you think Kamala every day wishes harm to him? Like, let him have a heart attack just once. Just once. The only way I'm ever going to be president is if he croaks, and then I get to be president. My white Jew husband gets to be the first man. And maybe I'll have a shot at re-election in 2024. Kamala Warren, 2024. Kamala AOC, see you next Tuesday, 2024. I don't know about this, Patrick. Corporate America, Josh Denny's specialty. We should ask him his opinion. Look, Josh has a lot of fish fries going on right now. He's single-handedly overseeing the comeback of Anthony Cumia. He's single-handedly ruining Gavin McInnes. So he's got a lot going on. And he's looking great, by the way, slimmer and slimmer. Every day, every time I see him, it's definitely getting better. Not worse. You know, this is like fat girls we make fun of. Like, you know, fat girls like dye their hair purple or put like sequins on their car. And they're like, I don't care. I'm sassy. It's like, that's what Josh is now. He's sassy. He's so fat that he's beyond caring about it. Or at least that's what he's going to purport to feel. And just be like, if y'all got a problem with it, y'all's the ones that need to think. And then we're all like, whoa. So that's what we got. That's what we got tonight. What do you want to get into? If you want to get into Keith and the girl, type $signs in the chat. If you want to get into Josh, Denny, and Kanye, type yay in the chat. If you want to get into Cool Cat, type meow in the chat. And if you want to get into, you know who else? I'm over here on Rockfin now. Comedian Graham Elwood is over here on Rockfin. It's the most cringe thing I've ever. This is where he's been hiding, doing content. Holy shit. You have to see what Graham Elwood is doing. And I might get kicked off Rockfin. I'll become like the guy that starts making fun of the people they have on Rockfin, but holy fuck. I don't watch a lot of Rockfin, but I saw Graham Elwood. I go, oh, Graham Elwood, that guy? Doug Benson's opener? And I clicked on it, and I don't even know what I'm watching. It's hard. It's whoa level stuff. So yeah. $signs, yay. We have one vote for each thing. This is the saddest tabulation ever. This election is slower than the Nevada gubernatorial race. Am I right? Got him. Did the 420 awards ever release? That's a great question. 420 awards. $420 awards, the movie and music award show, where 420 fans vote for their favorite. Las Vegas 420 2022 worldwide streaming with comedian Stephen Pearl. So is this up? It says 420 2022. A non-political award show focused on entertainment. That's in quotes. And then at the top it says no politics, entertainment only. That's in quotes. 420 live stream awards. None of this is clickable. Not just movie awards, not just music awards. 420 awards combines both worlds, so there's something for everyone. Because everyone's into music or movies. That is everyone. Investors Corner. I don't see anything. Any way to watch. You scroll down, it says it's streaming 420 2020. This is. First of all, I don't think he knows what streaming means, clearly. Other marijuana-themed projects by Derek Savage for this multi-billion-dollar industry include the 420 Pot Band being produced now. Interested in investing in the entertainment side of the booming marijuana business? 420 Productions is seeking ex-producers, investors, and sponsors for our 420 themed projects. Interested parties contact us at official420awards@yahoo.com. This guy's using Yahoo. So, yeah, it's all over. It's his 4th annual 420 awards. Let's go to YouTube, see if we ever put it up. By the way, his site doesn't have an SSL certificate, so that's fucking great. They are expensive now. Meaning free. Okay. 420 awards. I doubt it. I really doubt it. No. He couldn't even be bothered to throw it together. It's November. So it's not like this is coming. All right, let's watch Josh Denny on a podcast called Hotep Jesus. I have no idea what this is. I'm queued up to a point where we can just start watching 40 minutes in. He did 3 hours of horseshit. He literally apparently he talks about saving Crocs. I haven't heard that part yet, but like he talks about like he saved Crocs, the company. It's like, okay.
And then started, when things started opening up, started doing touring again and doing it with Gavin and Anthony. And then that kind of brings us like current day.
I don't even know what that means, but whoa, he just said when everything opened up, I started touring again as if he was touring before. You mean driving Uber? Like, what are you talking about? As if this dude was ever on tour. I got to make that clear.
So, for the last 6 months or whatever, we've been doing this tour and, it's been going well and having good shows.
He does these things that aren't lies, but like also are far from the truth. He's like, we've been doing this tour for 6 months, It's like you've done 3 shows. You've done 3 shows for like losers. Gavin and Anthony have said they're losers. You keep bringing to these shows. So he thinks this is like gonna take off. And it's like, I almost want the Yeezy thing to be real because I want to see what happens when Yeezy realizes what he's gotten into
and everything else. And then, what was interesting was, the last 2 weeks have been like this sort of crazy out of body religious experience for me. Like I would never describe myself as a super religious person before.
By the way, he believes in God now, and he is a Jesus guy. So he has fully gone like this. This is how like when someone goes full, because I'll get it all the time. People in the chat will say I'm right wing. It's like, no, I just fucking think for myself. Because I don't march along with like a specific ideology, people think I'm right wing. I have people say I'm left wing. It's like, no, I just use my brain. It's like Josh is now against abortion and believes in God and is religious. It's like, so he's now fully put on the clown makeup for the right. Like where he's just literally towing every basic bitch party opinion. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And it's fine, but this is such a weird pivot for your brand. Everything you've ever told us about who you are, like, seems like a lie now. So yeah, just so you know, it feels very odd.
Or 2 weeks ago. And we were doing shows in Chicago and we had problems with Antifa getting our venues canceled. So we announced the first venue early, which we normally don't do, and they started blowing up the venue, and
he wants you to think he's part of the ground swell battle now. Like Antifa's getting us canceled, we're getting bomb threats at the venue. They're scared of like me and Greg Gutfeld. You know what I mean? Like he thinks it's like him and Tucker Carlson, equal playing field, and people are after him. It's like he's a rich old millionaire who used to be on the radio running around pretending he's still relevant. You can tell to what degree that is because he's hanging out with Josh Denny. Gavin McKenna, it's such a sad shell of what could have been possible. I don't know who he has running any of his stuff. It's dog shit. And it's something him and Anthony Cumia can't seem to figure out. Imagine being surrounded with people like Flagrant and stuff like that in New York City and having all those shows and then looking at your own fucking green screen, blurry ass camcorder show. It's like, you've seen shows, right? You know what shows look like? CF said, I'm religious as long as I know all I have to do is say I believe in God every 2 months or so. Don't ask me to do, know, read anything beyond that. Well, that's insane. Denny uses being right-wing to dismiss why people don't like him or his comedy or podcasts. Is about, I'm the most canceled comedian. It's like, but what? Canceled from what? You've never toured. You're touring more now than you've ever toured in your life. Don't lie. So to be like, yeah, after the pandemic, I finally got back to touring. It's like, okay.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Because Gavin McInnes is going to be there, and so this is going to turn into a white supremacy thing. And are you really going to have white supremacists and a Nazi rally at your at your club? So they got our first venue canceled on Sunday. I was able to get a second venue lined up the next day, and then they canceled on us 2
Apparently, this just happened in New York this week too at their show.
hours before the show. Like, our producers were literally there doing sound tech check, and they were like, we got to cancel this show. We're getting too much heat. And when they get this heat, it's like, what are you getting, 30 calls?
I mean, these guys sell dozens of tickets, and he's acting like people are calling it. It's like, what?
From dorks on the internet who believe they're part of Antifa and they're freedom fighters.
Right.
So the guy pulls the plug on the show, and we're like, all right, we'll just email everybody and tell them to meet us at this bar. And at the very least, we'll hang with all the fans and maybe we can put something together. So we go to this bar in McHenry, Illinois, and one of the fans.
His shows are in McHenry, Illinois. Do you know what I mean? Like, so when he talks about touring in Chicago, it's like, somebody look up how far out McHenry is. Who's canceling these shows? Could any of these cancelings be true? Who knows? That's the problem. Or does he just want to be part of a plane crash again? You know what I mean?
Is talking to Ryan, our producer, who's Gavin's producer on his show, and he goes, man, I was just drinking at the local VFW, and they got like a 200-person bingo hall in the back room that's like nobody's using tonight. And I go, shit. So Ryan's like, I'm gonna run over there and see if they'll let us do the show there. So
that's producing.
Gets me on the phone on speaker, and we negotiate a price, and then we just email everybody through Eventbrite and say, hey, we're going to be at the VFW down the street. Come down here. Show's going to be pushed back an hour, and we're still going to do it. So we do the show. We pull it off. I think almost everyone that bought tickets made it. I think we had like 2 people not make it that we knew about. But
it was right down the street. Why didn't they make it? Imagine having so few tickets that you can track that 2 people didn't make it.
So we pull this out, and I remember the next day, Ryan and I drove back to the airport. It's about an hour drive from where we were to
an hour.
I was like, dude, when we pull shit off like that last night, it starts to feel like God is on our side. You know what I mean? Like it becomes like a crusade.
Holy shit. When we pull off shit like that, it feels like God is on our side. Woo. Woo. Yeah, I can't even, like, if you showed this, remember, this is the Josh Denny that pays hookers an extra $50 to pop in their mouth. His words, not mine. Now he's like, I'm against abortion and I love God and I feel like he's on our side, blessed, you know? It's like, maybe he did talk to Yeezy. Maybe it's rubbing off. This is nuts.
It's like a religious crusade. And then like a week later, I started watching everything that was happening with Kanye.
Maybe it's just these manic, mentally ill people all think they're Jesus. It's a religious crusade. People are after me. I need to stand up. I'm a martyr.
And I was just like, the parallels in our lives. Like when I had my first cancellation, I went on Van.
His first cancellation. By the way, he told, to get to this point, I skipped all of it. He talks about his firing from Crocs because of things that he like did on Twitter and stuff. It's like he pretends he was canceled like because of past things he said. He's blurring together like all these things that happened over like 4 jobs. Because it was like Sean John. It was Crocs. He quit to go to Sean John. It was like to make more money. And he spent all of his Croc stock on that yellow FJ Cruiser. So he's telling me he's like he's the guy who like saved Crocs, but they only gave him 40 grand. But he blurs it all together in his head. He's like, yeah, every company just kept firing me because of like, what happened to Will the agency? That company started a year ago. I mean, nothing's taking. I joined Rockfin a week ago, and I'm going to pass you. I'm going to show you how hard it is. So if I were you, I'd get back to making. He hasn't posted anything on there in a month. But I encourage all of our listeners to head over to Rockfin, ROKFIN.com/NLO, rockfin.com/NLO. Sign up there, support the show there. I make a significant portion of the subscription over there, more than YouTube pays for sure. I asked Chrissy Mayer to ask Josh about surviving a plane crash on her podcast. Leave Josh alone with the plane crash and stuff. I guess it's a funny meme. I don't know. It's so stupid. You guys know that he thinks I do this to him, right? Like he tells people that I harass him and can't let him go and like da. It's like, what? What? Like I was the one who stopped calling you and couldn't have you on my show anymore because it was too cringe. Can I get PM in the AM there? Yes. You'll also get PM in the AM in the overdose. It just is going to roll in way later in the archives. You'll get video and audio, PM in the AM. I'm way behind. It's been a busy week. I've traveled a lot and had a birthday, but I've got a lot of uploading and catching up to do. It's true. We would never know who Denny was if it wasn't for NLO. I mean, look, you might not. I don't know what he would have done. Who knows? I want Ye to go over to his apartment and sit down with him and launch a new shoe. I really hope that happens for him. You know, as I get older, and again, 43 today, thank you guys so much for the gifts and support and loves. As I get older, I do realize, like all you can really do is try to be happy, try to stretch out your years, and really come to terms with who you are. And like, really, look, I was a totally different person when Josh and I were friends. I was an asshole. I think we did a show not long ago where I talked about a lot of things I did wrong and I handled wrong. For sure. And probably more than Josh. Who knows? But I also know like the path for redemption with Josh is like non-existent. So at some point I have to be okay with that and let it go. He's still cycling through a kaleidoscope of denial. I don't, every time I know he thinks I paid constant attention to him for 7 years. Years have gone by without me mentioning Josh on this show or even fucking like looking at what he's doing. Years. So like, we're not after you, Josh. Nobody was talking about you. We're not trying to get you. Now you keep bringing us up. So like, I got to go see what the fuck. And also, if you're working with Yeezy now, that's crazy. That's great. But this revisionist history, none of the people who you seem to be in circles with now know the truth about your past and stuff so you can blur together these lines where you were like fired from Crocs for tweets? It's like, what? I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that because you quit Crocs in like 2011. You know, you said you had a lawsuit where you were going to win tons of money for your wrongful termination and all this stuff. Okay. Then you were like driving Uber and had a show. And then you were driving Uber. Oh, you pretend that your show got canceled or you backed out of it because they didn't want to pay you enough. It's like, who do you think's believing all this? Like, we don't know how cable works. You know, just like, I've never seen someone go back with a brush and blur their own history so much.
Lathan's podcast, like 2 weeks after Kanye was there with Candace, with the slavery as a choice thing.
So like Candace Owens
on there. And of course, we got into a conversation about the N-word in art, and I used the word because he told me he was fine with it before the show. And then when we did the show, he played like it was the most offensive thing that he's ever experienced in his life. And
he tricked you.
So and of course, my girlfriend afterwards, she goes, "You should have known better." And I go, "You're right. I should have known that it's still in the TMZ offices, and they're gonna fucking." So they soundbite it and clip it and make it look like I'm calling him the N-word or something. And
so his story is that Van Lathan told him he could use the N-word on the show, so he did. And it's like, even so, like knock it off. Are you not getting it? Like, they don't like that. The ends. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, they edited it like to look like I called him that. And it's like, no, they didn't. I didn't see that. You said it twice on the podcast. The first time he was like, please don't do that. I asked you not to do that. You're saying before the show, he said, please do it. He set you up? Okay. Why is everyone always setting Josh Denny up? Why is everyone after Denny? Doesn't seem to make sense.
It's like, no, we're having a conversation about like when it's used in songs versus used in jokes. And I'm like, if I'm telling a story about a racist interaction where somebody calls my girlfriend that slur, right? I'm going to use the fucking language that was used because, one, it's what really happened. It's the truth. And two, I've done this shit enough to know what works and what doesn't work. And if you don't use the word, it's not offensive enough for the audience to understand what's funny about it.
Right.
So I was trying to explain that to him, and he started
what's
to
funny
about the fact that I was even using the word in that context. And then, of course, they chopped that up and made it look crazy. But this was like 2 weeks after the Kanye thing. And so I've been a fan of his, and I'm not like a diehard, but I've been a fan of his since I was like 19 when College Dropout came out. And I liked his music because I was like, this is the first rapper who's sort of like indicting black culture in the sense of like, why do we care about sneakers and cars and not shit that's important, that matters, right? Like God and family. And so that's been a message from day one from him. And I just thought it was very interesting and different. And
it's been a message he's contradicted since day one, right? Like, he also raps about cars. How many songs does Kanye say Bugatti in? He also raps about watches and money and shoes. And bitches. Easy taught me. You know what I mean? He also goes up in front of women and grabs trophies in the middle of their awards. It's like he's not a stable guy, Like, you have seen him, right? Like, he's a nutter. He's a full-on nutter. Now look, they may have drugged him up. They may have kept him drugged up and stuff. That might be the only him that's reasonable. I'm not saying he can't make a few good songs. I'm not saying he's not a good musician. He's nuts. He's fucking nuts. Imagine having to hang out and suck up to Gavin and Anthony. It's got to be a strange place to work. Every one of them looks to the other and thinks, at least I'm not him. Wait, did he break up with Netta, or is he trying to pass her as black? He calls her a stand-in on stage and then jokes. And he's trying to say, like, that's why he used it on Van Latham's show. It's like, no, it's okay. I can say the N-word because I have a girlfriend who I also call the N-word. It's like, oh, okay. Today on the Tired Podcast Topics from 2012, we discuss if comedians can use the N-word. Yeah, like, this is a real show from, like, a week ago.
I've always dug him from that perspective. And I start to look at all the shit that's happening to him, and I go, I know what that's like. I've been there. I've been canceled by that. I've had people say that about me. I've had people say that about me. And this is coming off the tails of these shows being canceled, and I'm like, I wonder.
Josh looks for, like, coincidences and then, like, you know, fabricates an entire belief system based on some horse shit he's woven together in his mind. I know how that feels. I know. So maybe Kanye and I are da. It's like, wow. I
wonder if, like, and then when the Adidas deal got squashed, I was like, okay, so now he's got this apparel company, this footwear company that basically needs to be rebooted from the ground up. And I was thinking, like, our lives are so similar in a lot of ways, not similar in the revenue ways at all.
He wants to fuck Kanye.
I'm probably the poorest person he knows. But my point is, I was like, I just have this weird compulsion that maybe I'm supposed to put this out, and maybe we're supposed to meet and work on something together. And I don't know what that is. So I do that thread that you saw on Twitter that I showed you, and
so he does a thread on Twitter. You know, he does call out the celebrities all the time. He tried to fuck Kristen Bell this way. He's nuts with this. He's always tagging celebs on Twitter trying to get clout. So fucking funny. And so he's claiming it worked with Kanye. Here we go.
And I think nothing of it. I think, like, I put stuff like this on Twitter all the time, and nothing ever happens with it. Like, I probably tweeted at Elon Musk a million times, never answered one of my questions, you know?
Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wishes. That means a lot, guys.
A couple days goes by, and then I get a direct message from Candace that says, give me your phone number. And I go, okay. And then the next morning, Thursday morning, I get a
tell me now, watch this part. This is very important. Is he lying? Let's wind it back a little bit. I wish Moody was here. God damn it, because he's such a good Hawkeye on this stuff. You tell me.
Message back from her, and she's like, you're gonna get a phone call today. And I'm like, all right. And I assume it's gonna be one of his people or whatever, or something like that. And at fourth, I'm like, and then I get a million like this. I think nothing of it. I think, like, I put stuff like this on Twitter all the time, and nothing ever happens with it. Like, I probably tweeted at Elon Musk a million times, never answered one of my questions, you know?
Yeah.
And oddly enough, so I put it out, a couple days goes by, and then I get a direct message from Candace that says, give me your phone number. And I go, okay. And then the next morning, Thursday morning, I get a message back from her, and she's like, you're going to get a phone call today. And I'm like, all right. And I assume it's going to be one of his people or whatever, or something like that. And at 4:30 on Thursday, I get a call from Ye himself directly to just talk. So we just talk about the problems of his business and his company, what he's dealing with. But mostly we talked about, you know, the experience of being canceled and what that feels like, and everything else, and the persecutorial aspects of it. And obviously, like, his is way different. Like, I've said this on other shows.
Oh, you guys were so similar.
This is the most public crucifixion of a person since Christ himself. I mean, this is literally like, this is.
I mean, imagine this idiot thinking. Like, I'm sorry. I do think Josh is very smart when it comes to business. He knows a lot of stuff. He was very good at his job. I've seen him work. I can't be dishonest. Like, I do think he knows what he's doing when it comes to, like, running a company, at least in the operations aspect of like hiring and firing and merchandising and you know, marketing and supply and demand and what's working and what's not, problem solving in a business. Like honestly. And I tell you guys stuff like that because I want you to believe, like, I have no reason to say he's bad at something he's not bad at. Like, I don't even think he's a not funny comedian. Unless you watch his most savage clip show on the net. Dear God, erase that immediately. That and Survivors Anonymous. And don't get me wrong, I know the whole, like, hey, you got to keep flinging shit at the wall. I get it. I'm not even criticizing that. But some of the shit you got to scrape off the wall and flush it. Like, Survivors Anonymous is garbage. And don't watch it when you go take it down either. Like, delete it immediately. You might not want to touch your girlfriend after you watch it. It's gross. People in the chat are like, who is this other guy? A newscaster? Just direct eye contact and smiling? What is this show? Hotep doesn't believe him. Oof, this is so cringe. They can't wait to grift Josh. You think that's a she? Is this supposed to be funny? Why are so many comedians unfunny? They all want to become pundits or some shit. I mean, look, my PM in the AM show has been political, but that's just what's going on. We usually just talk about the news. So I try to have stories and it's more pundity, like topic-y. But, you know, you also got to like have something funny to say. Like, I wouldn't pick something that I didn't have anything to like rant about, to bring up. Like, Josh's goal on every podcast is to come across as some sage provider of wisdom. He wants people to, this guy's 38 or something. He wants people to look at him like, I've lived so many lives and I have so much experience. It's like, ugh. Netta is in Survivors Anonymous. Her acting is very good. You're fucking out of your mind with that shit. It's so bad. They're chewing on a pen. Ugh. But you make a great point. I don't know who this Hotep Jesus guy is, but let me tell you what the warning signs for me are. Anyone who has a mention of a coin, he's got Syscoin down here. He wants you to buy a coin. Yeah. How's that working out for Tom Brady and old Larry David with FTX? Don't buy any weird coins from guys you follow. If I ever come to you and want you to buy a coin, take me outside and tell me it's over. Even in a low coin, which we did as a joke, there was nobody selling it. You had to download the program and mine it. And then it was just about flexing how much NLO coin you had, which was worthless and useless. Do you still have yours, though? These guys who do like Moon Coin and they want you to buy like their fucking crazy Terra Coin and Terra Luna and all this shit. It's so insane. This guy's got Syscoin. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you you'll lose it all. Stay away. Stay away. What are these guys doing? So listen to him working with Kanye now.
This is literally like that 2.0 in terms of, you know, just like we're going to make a fucking example of this guy. That
Hotep backwards is pedo, just so you know.
You don't ever say shit we tell you you're not allowed to say. And it's just a very, very crazy, it's just a very crazy thing to watch unfold. And so, you know, we just kind of talked and joked for a little bit. And then, you know, I don't want to go into any specifics, but then we just sort of started talking about what, you know, all right, so where does everybody go in culture in this moment right now with the opportunities that we're all presented with, okay, now this is our reality going forward. What do we do? And so, you know, it's been without going into a ton of detail, it's been a very interesting 2 weeks. And going back to what I said a minute ago, it's like I went from this process of being like, yeah, I think I'm mildly religious to like now I'm like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Signs, but have you ever seen it with Mel Gibson?
Yeah, a long time ago.
6 months
I would
later.
give it a second watch, but it's because it's like it's an alien movie, but it's really a movie about religion and God and faith. And I tell people, like, after what's happened in my life in the last 2 weeks, I'm like that end scene in Signs when he's putting the fucking.
Did he just say end scene?
Like, all faith is restored.
He can't stop using the end.
I'm overwhelmed with this surreal feeling that, like, every interaction we have in our lives, positive, negative, unpleasant, uncomfortable, whatever, is all part of a bigger plan.
Sew it on a pillow and sell it on your Etsy.
In life and on this planet. And in this existence, some people, they're like, in this reality, in this thread of the multiverse, whatever you want to call it, like, we are all on a path, and that there are no coincidences with the things that occur to us in our lives. And so it was like this really profound feeling of like, hey man, everything that you've ever endured that's been horrible or shitty in your life has been on purpose and to prepare you for something bigger that you are.
Kanye called to ask Josh for business advice. Unreal. I think this man on the right is being held there at gunpoint off camera.
All the adversity.
Watch Hotep's eyes. I think he's blinking the word torture in Morse code.
And all the great things you achieve. Could you even imagine
one of the comments
that you are?
And by the way,
sort of greatness
I
like
can't
that,
even
and then you
imagine.
touch
Let's
it?
see the comments. We should just check the fucking comments. Here. Okay. This interview was uber cool. Holy shit. That look on Denny's face when he realizes Hotep wasn't listening at all and just working on buying domains is priceless. HJ acting like me when I'm too drunk in a conversation. Just yep and hell yeah. HJ, your ability to simply listen when your guest is saying something of value is one of the reasons I listen to your channel. Josh will bloviate as long as you'll let him to. As long as you'll let him go. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Holy shit, this is cringe. Everything you've endured, oh my God. It's like, again, this is like Ty Rivera's like discoveries of like life. This is like basic bitch beginning life stuff. He's like, everything you've ever done is to lead you up to every adversity you ever encounter in the future. It's like cool poster of the frog strangling the crane as the crane eats the frog. It's like, why don't you just get a hang in there cat poster? It's like, these are basic bitch, basic bitch things that are like on, wine moms' minds. These are like things aunts post on their Facebook page over and over, like little rainbow and bird memes. This is garbage, is what I'm trying to tell you. This is shit, is what I'm trying to tell you. Your ability to just listen to your guest as they spout knowledge. It's like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is real. To go from driving for Uber to being second in command in a multi-billion-dollar operation like Yeezy is amazing. I can't wait to see the model of the first Denny shoe. I'm confused. Is Josh Denny a comedian or shoe expert? Shout out to Hotep for listening to him bloviate about himself for so long. Great conversation, gentlemen. Great episode. Holy crap, my Uber driver talked to Ye. He has one phone call with Kanye and he thinks he's the only one who knows when Kanye is fucking with people. This is such an insane thing to say. Kanye has friends and family. Josh barely even knew Ye until a few weeks. When it comes to celebrity women, it's not about the earthly status. Does this guy have a twin brother? He looks exactly like my Uber driver from the other day. Holy shit. My Uber driver's on a podcast. Oh my God. It's just on and on and on. On and on. The Uber man, and then it's filled with, by the way, a lot of people digging it. This guy is amazing. Dope convo. An honest conversation. Like it's filled with a lot of actual people who are like, because he's so convincing. He's so convincing. He is from the corporate world. So he does have that speak. And it's not like any of the executives from Crocs today or the founders are paying attention to like call him out on this horse shit. No one watches Hotep Jesus, whoever this even is. What is Hotep? Somebody fill me in. I know I'm not cool.
Actually touch it, and then in his case, you touch it over and over and over again. And it's like, how could you deal with the reality that not only are you that, is that true, that everything in your life has been on this purpose or for a purpose, but that it's at the scale that it is for him in terms of the number of people he reaches and touches and influences on a daily basis.
I don't like the look of it.
What I look at that and go is like, my God, for somebody who's been tasked with that spiritual responsibility for humanity, I think he's handling it very fucking well. You know what?
So he believes that Kanye is tasked with a higher spiritual responsibility. I've learned a lot from my stand-up journey. Right. I mean, this is crazy shit. Like, there's no coming back from this, man. He's chosen a road, and it's like this, or he will be bagging groceries. Like, this is it.
I mean, yeah, like it's like, imagine sort of having the weight, and I don't say this to be hyperbolic, but imagine having the weight that you are essentially this generation's messiah in some capacity, culturally, spiritually, artistically, whatever.
Like, he really thinks like Kanye believes that about himself, but it's like, like most people don't know who you are. Like, most people have no idea who Kanye West is. And I know you're going like, what? I'm not even saying in the US. Like, most people have no idea who Kanye West is. And I know that sounds crazy to like plugged in members of the zeitgeist, but like, it just like, there's so many people in the world, and I think you're like Jesus called here for a higher purpose. It's madness.
Ever. And you mad about that all day long, and then it continues to be shown to you that yes, you are this person, yes, you have this purpose, over and over and over again.
The son of Sam thought
people wouldn't be able to wake up and be productive with that weight of that on their shoulders. And so, it's amazing to me that like you're watching somebody who has been gifted by something greater than ourselves with the audience to be a messenger for whatever he's empowered or told to do on such a grand scale. I think he's managing it very, very well.
So much of this is hype.
Managed it very, very well, and it's so amazing.
Never forget, like,
see, like we were talking before.
I lived on the Upper West Side when Life of Pablo and Donda and all that stuff came out. He was doing an album release at Madison Square Garden, and he couldn't fill it. They had to put ads in Craigslist. Come down. We don't want it to look empty on video. Free. Get into Madison Square Garden and watch Kanye's album and video game release. Remember, there's a video game of like his dead mother. This video's on YouTube, and you'll find it. Fucking insane. But they were like begging people to come down. This guy's not like. There's some great music, and then there's a lot of shit. There's some great producing, and then there's just a lot of yelling and madness. You know what I mean? Like, let's get real.
Like, I tweeted a picture with somebody that works with him that we've been hanging out the last couple days and putting our heads together on some stuff. And just by the post of that picture going out, people are like, "What the fuck is Denny doing working with or hanging out with these people who are affiliated?" Like, they're starting to put things together. And they're fucking furious. And it's like, the thing people are most afraid of is that those of us who find ourselves on different levels of this spiritual crusade of, I believe, the purpose is to essentially restore humanity back to what it was supposed to be, or where we were, and to try to get us away from this fucking I hate using words like satanic or evil or whatever, but this path of like just the destruction of Western civilization. And I feel like we all have some role to play. Even you have a role to play in this culture war of
even you sound like a preacher.
Supposed to be. And
God has a purpose for you.
It's very hard to fight the doubt of that, of like, man, is that really, am I that important? Like, I don't feel important. I feel like a jerk off half the time. Like, you know, when
you should
fucking indigestion and I can't stop farting, it's hard to feel like your life is meant for anything important when you're in those low moments when you're by yourself and nobody cares about what
pretty
you're
cool
doing.
New poster though, huh? Big
feels
Lebowski. That's cool.
It's hard to answer
like college.
And I think so many people like throw their opportunities or their potential away because they're too afraid to answer the call. And I think a lot of this haterish cancel culture shit is from a whole fucking generation of people who've never had the courage to answer the call for anything in their life. Anytime God or the universe or whatever they believe it is knocks on the door and
Moody's here, we got one.
Oh no.
And they're too much of a fucking coward to follow it. Those people hate people.
Pensive Denny is the worst.
Journey. Any kind of journey of self-realization or somebody who's even willing to chase their own human potential. That's where that hater bullshit culture comes from people who believe you're only meaningless in this world if you fucking believe you are.
Wow.
And those people unfortunately believe they have nothing to offer the world, and they hate anyone who believes otherwise about themselves.
What are you talking about?
Bars.
Yeah, so
this guy. You're right. This guy does have no.
Where I feel like I'm called and compelled.
It's such bullshit. The guy has no comedy. He's just like, wow, yeah, powerful. Yeah, that you did say something. Yeah.
And just trying to offer whatever I can to help, you know, whether it be business insight or just friendship of just like, hey man, this is somebody who's never going to judge you, who's never going to tell you have to apologize for what you think or what your ideas are or any of that shit.
He said this to Kanye.
I made him laugh on the phone the other day really hard because I was like, I don't think people realize when you're fucking with them. And I think I'm sometimes one of
He made Kanye laugh really hard on the phone. And he has to bring it up. He can't just have a moment with a human. If he did something funny and it wasn't being recorded so that everyone knows, he has to bring it up on a podcast and say, here's a funny thing I did to Kanye the other day. Okay, Moody, is this real or a lie? Is he real or lying? We have to know. Why does Denny always come across as I'm so much better than you? I'm not sure. I will get back to you too, Chris. I apologize that I haven't. It's been a very birthday. I'm interested in Moody's call on this.
the only people that knows when you're fucking with people, and he's like, well, you know, everybody gets offended so quickly. And I go, I promise you, I will never be offended at anything you fucking say because I have the most morbid sense of humor of anyone you'll ever meet in your life. So, but yeah, it's just like,
he definitely fucks with people. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's moments, if you watch that Lex Friedman interview, there are moments in there where Lex has no idea that the shit that he is saying is not even necessarily shit that he thinks. He's trying to get a reaction. He's trying to and I understand it because it's like, he's trying to knock Lex off the horse of his agenda, which in that interview is, I'm going to be the one to get him to get through to him. I'm going to be the one that gets him to apologize. Peter Morgan did it. Lex Friedman did it, and it's just like, ew, dude, what a disgusting power to put upon yourself to believe. Like, how about you fucking believe that you're just the.
So hold on, he thinks Lex Friedman interviewed Kanye West, and I can't sit through a Lex Friedman interview personally, but he said that Lex Friedman thought his whole purpose was to get Kanye to apologize. He's like, imagine thinking that about yourself, that you had that responsibility, you're that grandiose about da. It's like, you just talked about being Jesus and having a higher purpose for 20 minutes. You just went on and on about your destiny is to change humanity and essentially help Kanye. You and Kanye are going to be the new Jesuses. You said that. You said that. They're going to make fun of Lex Friedman for thinking that he had goal on his podcast. That's a pretty low bar for being grandiose. That's insane.
The opportunity is for you to make a human connection with somebody who has this vibration at this other level, right? And to think.
So what a fucking hypocrite. We got to point this out. It's like, it's literally like this. You said that the whole reason you initially tweeted to Kanye was, you said, it's probably stupid, but I feel like we have so much in common. The universe is calling me to him, and I'm meant to meet. Maybe I'm meant to meet him and do something with him. So I put it out there. And now you're going to make fun of Lex for simply having an agenda. By the way, it's a made-up agenda that you assigned to him of getting Kanye to apologize on his show. I think he was just interviewing another human. But you assume that he had an agenda, and then now you're criticizing him for that agenda and saying, you idiot, you're supposed to just have a human connection. It's like, you idiot. You came up with this grandiose idea that you were being called to Kanye West and put all this pressure on yourself, that you're meant to change the world like some sort of, Twitter messiah. Moody says Kanye isn't out of it. He could have just checked out and laughed because he wasn't listening. No, I'm asking you, do you really think Kanye called Josh Denny? Or is this another one of Josh Denny's favorite pranks? Where he goes like, of course you guys thought is he trying to get TMZ or somebody to pick up, is Kanye rebooting his shoe company with N-word saying comedian Josh Denny? Is this real? Does this feel real? This feels like shit. This host went to the Essence Dispensary School of Podcasting. Nobody knows what that means. Moody, it's called an UIT. We're doing UITs today, okay? They're like whippets, but empty.
It was weird to me to watch that because it's literally like, it was like, imagine like thousands of years ago, somebody sitting down with Jesus and being like, I'm going to be the one that gets him to admit that he's not the son of God. And it's just so fucking disrespectful for people to sort of like assume that role for themselves. It's just strange to me that like
Lex Friedman, a Jew, wanting Kanye to apologize to Jewish people is like people wanting Jesus to apologize for being Jesus. It's like, what are you talking about?
Agendas prevent them from just having a real, authentic human connection with people. Like, why don't you just sit down and not have an agenda and see where the conversation takes you and share ideas and share your loves and your passions and the things that you're excited about and find that.
Remember when we had a midget on the show and all he wanted to do was ask her how she farts and wipes and shit? You missed an opportunity to have a real, genuine connection.
Common ground with someone organically. And it's like people can, even somebody like Lex who presents himself as this, I'm like very down the middle. I'm like a straight shooter. I'm like and you still can't get out of I have a moral responsibility with my platform to like make him apologize for what he said about Jewish people. And I love that he didn't back down on that and said, yeah, but like, for me to pretend that that's not
Kanye was in a plane crash too.
You know what I mean?
Kanye is Jesus Christ. What in the hell?
You can tell me that.
How dare someone think they're Jesus like?
That's not the reason. But you can't tell me that it's just not a factor or it's irrelevant to the discussion. And what I think is so funny is like all these people are like, yeah, but that's not all Jewish people. But that's not all Jew. You can't just say that because everyone else is going to think you mean all Jews. And it's like, well, nobody expects him to have that sort of hesitation when he's indicting the black community, when he's going in on his own community and saying, listen, these are black problems.
Okay, so it's hard for me to believe this is real, honestly. But that's where I want to leave it. I just like, you guys tell me, I think it's fucking fake. I think there's another classic Josh bit. It's outrageous, but not believable, somewhere between the plane crash and being friends with Rob himself. I find it hard to believe that Kanye called Denny and talked for hours and about how they're so similar, about being canceled and stuff. And maybe he just needs a hug or advice on business, or just like, how empty is Kanye's barrel of help when he's calling Josh for business advice? That's what I want to know. Okay, look. I got an email the other day from a rival show called Keith and the Girl. And I can't not rant about this. This is the email. It's titled "Our Kickstarter Launched," and the subject is "Our Kickstarter Launched!" ! They didn't even capitalize the email here. It's just "Our Kickstarter Launched." Check out our video and grab your rewards. They do a Kickstarter every year for the podcast. Now, they're just like this podcast. They have a premium subscription. Here it's called The Overdose. We do ask you to subscribe. You can save $1 right now by going to nobodylikesonions.com/overdose and signing up with the promo code THANKS. That'll make it $9 a month instead of $10 a month. You're welcome.
Oh, no.
But please, this is how the show goes. People wanting give their own money through the website. I make the majority of this. It doesn't go through a payment processor other than PayPal or Stripe. And I get the rest of it, okay? Aside from the government. Now, if I'm good enough, and God knows I have been, enough of you do this where I can pay the fucking bills. Worked out for 12 years now. When you can't do that, you're forced to lie and grift super hard to your fans. Now, Keith and the Girl have always just been fucking out of it. We made fun of their merchandise, I think, in 2006, Chef and Johnny B and I can't, there's no lower effort that could be put into a podcast. It's just like, these guys don't give a fuck, and they're still just grifting. I want you to get extra shows if you enjoy the show. I want you to have convenience to an RSS feed or be able to watch it on your own time. If you give me dollars, I want you to have access to the archives. You get something. I want you to buy a hat, support the show. I want you to buy a shirt, support the show. Buy a hoodie, support the show. Buy a beanie, support the show. Something. These guys want you to give, and they're telling you that it's for the show. They're telling you it's for the show. I don't know how much the average person knows anymore about tech and stuff and what it takes to stream. I would think most of you know you don't need even my setup today. You need a MacBook. This is the email. And again, imagine putting no effort into emails. Imagine putting no effort into your website, no effort into your merch, no effort into your artwork, your thumbnails, anything. You just don't know. You don't know how to do anything. It never improves. I'm not saying you have to be the best at everything now. Try a little. Did you notice I've taped the sign up better this time? It's not fallen yet. Try. Come up with a new way and just try it. Now it will fall, but later. This is the email. Check out our video and grab your rewards. Your pledge will help ensure one more year of Keith and the Girl episodes. Monthly live game shows. Have they lost their studio? Because last time we did this, it was a year ago. Every time they beg for money, you never see them in studio anymore. All their shows are over Zoom. They never have guests. Did they lose their studio? And are we just supporting two couples? They used to be together, so their bills were shared. Then they spread out and bought a studio. Then they broke up. So now they need to pay for two apartments and their studio apartment. Like, so they're 3 buildings now. But we haven't seen them in their studio in so fucking long. So I think that's kaput. There's no fucking way. 24-hour comedy marathon. Remember, they stole this from me. Premiere of the game show, whatever the fuck that is. Because Silent Trailers is such a hit. We have a new one. Add more Keith and the Girl episodes a week. Add 12 hours to the comedy marathon. Make Keith start a new podcast, The Bible as Told by Keith Malley. Check out Kickstarter and grab your reward now. Okay, so we go to keithandthegirl.com/kick. This is the Kickstarter. Hold on, let me get this. Email closed. What is this, Josh? What is this? Oh, the old video? Holy fuck. Oh, yeah. We should go back and look at that eventually. Okay. So here's the Kickstarter. 18 years of podcasting, a year of Keith and the Girl recordings, 24-hour comedy marathon. Now, again, the marathon, when I invented the marathon show on podcasting, me, you would do things every hour and the people would donate. And every time you donate X an hour, 100 an hour, or whatever it is, we do another hour. And that's the way it worked, up to 24 hours or whatever. Moody and I did over 24, I think, in 2014. So this thing where they like do a Kickstarter for 25 grand, and by the way, they're 8,500, is creepy, cringy. Why does it do that? That's weird. Okay. So they've got 118 people back in this thing already. 25 days to go. They've got $8,500. This Kickstarter helps us continue recording the podcast with Keith and the Girl episodes, approaching 18 years with well over 3,600 episodes. Not counting bonus performances and VIP content. We regularly put out constant content. Your contribution allows us to keep the mics on and keep the shows going. Again, they still have their VIP. They sell merch, YouTube monetization. Like, what are we... If funded, you will get to bring your annual 24-hour comedy marathon featuring over 50 comedic guests recorded live in audio and video. It's like, that's a feature to them. They're bragging about that. They're like, and video, guys. In early 2023 for you to watch and interact live as well as rewatch on your schedule. We'll also add a special virtual game show, the Game Show. A single game show featuring the audience's favorite games exclusively for Kickstarter supporters. There will be no other way to get a ticket to this event, which includes feedback and voting on how the game is run in the future. So you get to help them make up a game. All backers will get a copy of the game as well. Also, would you like Keith and the Girl to return to their pre-pandemic
5 shows a week format, you can make it happen. Check out our stretch goals. We can't wait to spend another year with you. Thank you very much for your support. 25,000, they'll do what they said. 250 backers, they'll do 4 days a week. 500 backers, they'll do 5 days a week. 1,000 backers, they'll add 12 hours to the marathon show. 50K, they'll do a second Keith and the Girl week in December with free tickets to all supporters. 100K, the Bible as told by Keith Malley. So for $100,000, they'll start a new podcast? Okay. So these are what they're doing. Keith and the Girl. Pledge $10, no reward. 27 or more, you get a forum badge. Remember forums, guys? They have forums, and you get a badge. January 2023, you'll get your forum badge. $62 or more, you'll get Late Bird Marathon Audio Bonus Hour and the Game Show. 107, you'll get the video of the bonus hour. Ooh. 199, you get a sponsor an hour of the marathon with a forum badge. Audio and video of the entire marathon. $3.99, you get a game night with Keith and Chemda. Oh, a game night with 2 exes passively aggressively playing over Skype. $4.99, studio show pass, be our guest. So it says you'll be welcome to the Keith and the Girl studio when we do a regular show. So risks. Technical challenge. This is real. Ensuring the server can handle the traffic load since the last marathon had several hundred people chatting and listening. So they want you to pretend YouTube isn't a thing, or Rumble, or Rockfin, or anything else, and that they need to run their own audio and video server, which every user must directly connect to and stream video and chat from. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're running their own video streaming and chat service. And it's costing tens of thousands of dollars. And you're supposed to go, yeah, well, I mean, how else do you get a chat room? It's not like those are free. Addressed by maintaining a high-powered server, high-tech chat software, and extra bandwidth for heavy traffic loads, for all that chat. Production challenge, ensuring the cameras and studio equipment function properly. We need your money to make sure it functions properly. Addressed by bringing in dedicated technicians. They bring in dedicated technicians to ensure the cameras and equipment function properly. You cotton? Dedicated technicians. This is a real adults. Production challenge, ensuring the show streams properly throughout the marathon. Addressed by having a high backup speed internet connection, along with cell phone wireless hotspot. Keep Keith and the Girl thriving. The campaign ensures Keith and the Girl can continue putting out daily shows. I thought you don't do that anymore. You do 3. You want more money to go to 4 and more money to go to 5. So how is it daily shows? You're lying in your own Kickstarter. You're contradicting your own stretch goals. Let's watch the vid, huh?
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda, and this March we'll be celebrating 18 years of the Keith and the Girl podcast.
18. The things we can do now. We can vote.
Just in time. Things are getting a little crazy out there.
So they wanted you to donate to like go in studio and do a show with them. They couldn't go to a studio together to film this. This is the effort of their podcast now. This is the effort of their podcast. They don't even meet up anymore. Chemda goes in a closet. Keith streams from his living room with a 50-inch TV. This is a man who professes to have made it. I mean, no graphics on the screen. They couldn't split it up right. They're just filming Zoom. What is the money? Where's the money going? Where does it go? High-tech servers and technicians to make sure the cameras can handle the stream. What the fuck? What the fuck? The bandwidth for the chat users. Sometimes we get several hundred people. And we need to make sure it can keep up with the Wi-Fi hotspots. This is so fucking hard to watch. We started with them. They haven't improved since 2006. It's so hard to watch.
We could buy a lottery ticket. Fuck. We can get a tattoo.
Done.
We can buy cough suppressants.
What?
Anyway, it's an exciting time. And thank you all for spreading the word and supporting the show. This year's Kickstarter will help us keep the lights on and the show going.
If this Kickstarter gets funded, you'll be ensuring another year of Keith and the Girl episodes. A 24-hour comedy marathon with over 50 comedians.
By the way, and they want you to think like you're prepaying for another year of Keith and the Girl. Do you think if they ran out of money in 6 months, they'd be like, well, at least Keith and the Girl's still funded? When did this start? And their fans just jumped on board with it. Like, yeah, every year we do have to give them 30 grand. What the fuck?
An exclusive premiere episode of The Game Show, and 10 live game show events in 2023.
During the pandemic, we went from recording and releasing 5 episodes a week to 3 episodes a week to help us keep up with the change in our production. This year, we want to bring back our 5-day-a-week format.
And we're going to record them live.
What? 5 days a week? Let's do it.
I love it.
You decide what our 19th year of podcasting will look like.
Wait, are they in is this their studio? No, it's a split screen. I thought, whoa. Is Chemda in this room or is this fake? This is Chemda's where she records from. It's literally a shower curtain and a record shelf.
Days a week? Let's do it.
I love it.
Are they in the same? What is this? You said it's over Zoom, but this is Keith's background.
You decide.
That's weird. What's happening?
What our 19th year of podcasting will look like. Aside from the main Kickstarter goals, check out our stretch goals and see how you can add more Keith and the Girl episodes to the week, add 12 hours to the 24-hour comedy marathon. You know what? Make me start a new podcast, The Bible, as told by me, Keith Malley.
Okay, so short and sweet, here's the deal. You'll see on this page the rewards that we have to entice you to.
Like, this is how they think video works. They just cram in text. It's like, this is like when your granddad makes a flyer in Word or Excel. They share backgrounds to look like they're together. You think these are green screens?
support another year of Keith and the Girl. So get your exclusive ticket to the premiere of the brand new game show, The Game
This is her real room. Shadows are being cast.
Show. Game Show. You'll see.
Get a forums badge for bragging rights.
Get the entire marathon audio.
All they have to offer their people in 2022 is forum badges. This is fucking insane.
And video.
If the marathon's only 24 hours, get the exclusive behind the scenes 25th hour of the marathon. Behind the scenes.
Hold on.
stuff.
Moody is saying, if this is true, this is fucking crazy. Moody is saying they use Zoom for the live show. That's how people watch. I'm dying. We need to maintain the chat server. We get hundreds of people. We need to make sure they can chat. Moody, I don't think you understand chat. And like making sure the stream, they have technicians come in to make sure the cameras operate during the stream. So a lot of podcasts won't do that. What do they even talk about? I feel like every podcast is telling us what's coming up. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Patrick, they don't stream on YouTube. They have a Zoom call with their audience. That's fucking insane. But again, they're acting like they're streaming from their server and they have hundreds of people connecting to their server. So are they still running Flash Chat and they call that a high-tech chat system? They Zoom call with their audience, Moody. I don't even know if you're fucking with me or not. This feels insane.
Sponsor an hour of the marathon for your business or personal shout out.
Personal game night with Henda and myself.
All access backstage show passes.
A personalized weekend in New York City with us.
Beautiful. And remember, get your reward early. Some of these rewards are limited.
And remember, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. So thank you. Holy shit.
Whoa. Okay, so is this their studio? Are they in the same room? Or are they going to each other's house and doing this? Because I remember... What's going on? Moody, what's going on?
Flash kick.
Yeah. I gotta get Josh Marks is sending me on Facebook this video. How am I not logged into Facebook? Let's see. Oh God, this is gonna be good. Can I get this up in this? Why? Let me copy the URL. I don't know why this won't fucking open. Okay, so this is, I don't know how old this is. How old is this, Marks? They made this video for one of their Kickstarters a couple years back, and holy fuck. Let's see here. Why is that doing that? Hold on. There's just an artifact on the screen that is fucking annoying.
I don't know why it's doing that. That's very fucking odd. Okay. It's just saying the name of the thing over the. Let's see if we can make this full screen.
You, of course, have seen video from our studio, either live or
What year was
otherwise,
this?
but how does it all...
Okay, so just so you know, and maybe I gotta hide myself on this. What about this? Okay. Wow. Just look at the foam on the wall. This is who we're dealing with. This foam on the wall, this egg crate garbage just shows you what they were doing in 2015. Okay, so they're still doing this. And away we go.
You, of course, have seen video from our studio, either live or otherwise, but how does it all work? And we're going to need to use all this equipment for an upcoming marathon. In fact, we're going to have to upgrade. That's where your Kickstarter donations come in. Now, let's take a look around and see, how do all these things come together? I have our resident tech guru, Michael, with us, and he'll explain. Michael.
Thank you very much, Keith.
Go on.
Okay, so this actually is...
So Michael is Kemda's brother, the girl's brother. And he does all their tech stuff. So he's the one who told them, you need a flash chat room. You got to run the video server, spin up virtual machines. He told them they need to do all this. Now, if you heard at the beginning, he's like, we're going to do a marathon show, but we need your help. Our equipment is really old. We need to upgrade. How are we going to do that? With your help, we need $30,000. So they need $30,000 to overhaul everything for the marathon show. Now they need $25,000 to $30,000 every year just to keep the show going. How did it help you upgrade so much back then, and you're still using all the same garbage now, and now you need the same amount to keep the show going? Maybe the show's not supposed to be going anymore, you know? Like, if you can't make a living anymore, maybe it's time to quit instead of making Kemda's brother fly all the way over there just to help you guys fire up virtual machines.
Be the third level of this server. And the server that we're actually
Explain.
using. So we started off trying to get your computer to handle all 4 cameras.
Oh, this is what they upgraded. They tried to get your computer to handle all 4 cameras.
We record the room camera. We record each one of
Many cameras.
We record each one of.
Look at this studio. Just look at this garbage fire. In 2015, this is what they thought a podcast studio should be. Okay.
The host, that's you, that's Chemda, and guests, maybe sometimes Danny. And so we got 4 cameras coming into one machine, and that takes up a lot of processing
That's
power.
a lot of cameras, a lot of processing power.
We
It's like
we tried to
just have it come in on a capture card, have a good graphics card. You could run this on a fucking, old i7 from 10 years ago.
We tried to get it
He thinks it's processing power. These people are dumb.
on your machine while I was living in LA at the time, and
But that's so far away.
it was. But we almost made it work. I tried.
Almost doesn't cut the cheese. I just checked. LA is far. Explain.
Well, it was really hard because you guys need the studio during the day.
It's like they're trying to get you to think it's too high tech for you to understand. Don't worry about it. Just give money. So Keith's playing retarded. Keith is retarded, but Keith's playing retarded. Like, I don't understand cables. That is far to broadcast. It's like these guys need a fucking ATEM Mini and a fucking Windows shitty laptop. This hurts my brain so fucking much to know people have given $8,000 to them already again this year. It's like, I'm going to start begging for money from you people really hard like this. if this is how easy it is.
I need your computer, and I need the audio.
You're in L.A.
I was all the way in LA trying to get
We're
this
in
to
New
work.
York City.
It was a long distance, so I needed you to set up the cameras, turn on the
So he's doing all the switching and stuff from LA. He's recording the audio from LA. And somehow this is our problem that they just won't hire somebody local. This is all, I think, a funnel to Michael. Like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? This is dumb. This isn't... Who believes they need all this shit? It doesn't make sense.
favors because one of the challenges was getting this to record with real data.
Impossible. Or is it?
Well, it seemed impossible because...
Using Flash in 2015 was being sunset as well, said Moody. But it's like... Yeah, I mean, but it was long over. Like, it might have been being sunset by Adobe. Like, as far as support goes. But, like, Jesus. The minute Steve Jobs wouldn't put Flash on the iPhone, Flash was over. And by 2010, we had all moved on. So it's so insane that they use Flash Chat. Imagine going to their marathon show and be like, you need to install Flash Player. You'd be like, what? I didn't know that you guys' podcast was a virus.
Night when you guys left the studio, something different was happening.
I am possible.
The lights were turned off, or the screensaver was kicking in.
Ouch!
And I didn't have any real data. I'm trying to set up the software to get real data because each one of the cameras takes up about 25% of the computer.
25 or so.
But if the room is dark, it takes up like 2%. So I don't get any real data.
But this time less is bad.
Eventually, though, we figured your computer won't be able to handle all the processing. It was just too much. 4 cameras recording all the time, streaming to the chat room.
Let's just quit.
It just wasn't going to work. So rather than quit...
Quitting's not an option sometimes.
Rather than quit, we ended up getting...
Yeah, do you hear Hemda just dying laughing?
Server.
Now explain to me, Michael, what we're looking...
Like, just, she's dying laughing with the camera. And again... Imagine using a camera like this in 2015 and thinking it was okay. They don't understand headroom. They don't understand microphones. They use condenser mics. They're out of their mind. They don't know anything. And let me remind you, they wrote a book on how to podcast. Literally. They're like the most clueless idiots ever.
Well, we're actually looking at the feed to the other room. So we've got these cords here. These are the USB repeaters. These are the Ethernet lines that are taking the data to the internet.
Like an Ethernet line you use at home.
Like the one that you guys actually have at home. Actually, these are a little bit better. These are Cat 5e, so they can handle gigabit line and probably a little bit higher than that.
That's important.
And then we've got the audio cables here, so we've got backup in case something goes wrong. We can get some
backup's
audio
important.
Yeah, we've had to pull off some audio a few times. So this cable here now, in order to tell which one is which cable, I've got zip ties, colored zip ties that identify each one. And
how much is a zip tie?
Well, I buy them by the bundle, so maybe a couple bucks for
Smart.
100. And but that's and then each camera has a little sticker on it to let us know which connector it goes to. Now, in order to make this whole,
that's interesting.
We have to order this guy from Amazon. Luckily, we got it next day.
I wish that company well.
They saved the day. And
they're the best. Picture if a drone was delivering a saw in the air. Is that dangerous, Michael?
So this is the hole that leads to the server.
Oh, where does the hole go to, Michael?
Goes to the other room.
They literally duct taped around that like a glory hole. Look at that. Holy shit. Holy shit. Wow. I mean, you can buy a plate. Buy a brush wall plate for $1 on Amazon. Nah. How would rats get in then?
Go to, Michael.
Goes to the other room.
Let's go.
All right.
How do I get in there? the hole?
Oh, that's our hole right there.
That's what she said.
And that's where our wires are coming in from the studio on the other side.
Right.
We've got some extra wire over here in case we ever need to move the server. And this is the little server rack that I got set up over here. And
this is his server rack.
Staples mouse pad.
Like paper you might have at home.
It's very handy to have that there. We hardly ever use this station. It's only if I'm doing maintenance or working on the machine that I actually have to be here. Everything else can now be done remote through Keith's computer or my computer.
But it is important because a computer...
Imagine putting this out. Imagine putting this out.
And float.
Yeah, I don't know that if we
look at this rack of DVDs they sold in 2015. You know they still have them. Like look, I still have DVDs of stuff we sold back in the day and CDs. Not many, and they're not like out. They're in my garage in boxes. They're going to get thrown out very shortly. Actually, if anybody wants anything, holler. Imagine just like, our listeners buy DVDs a ton in 2015, dog. It's like, okay.
I guess can...
What are you talking about?
I'm going to show you the inside of the computer now. All right, so one of the biggest things that we've got here is the fan. This case almost didn't fit this fan.
Fans are very important, or who will listen to you?
That's a good point, but this is a different kind of fan.
Oh.
This is a fan that's going to keep the chip cool because we're overclocking the chip. So we're taking it from
dumb
what
alien
Intel
character he's doing.
and we're saying we want to go a little bit faster than what you're...
We're better than Intel.
We're going to push things a little bit because we need to get all 4 cameras. The machine could barely handle about 4 cameras.
Imagine
machine,
making your processor
and keep the live
handle your video encoding
on the homepage of the website. So when
in 2015.
During the last marathon, we had some trouble getting that fifth camera.
Dumb?
Oh no!
The new motherboard that we're going to get is going to
about.
be able to have 8 cores. This one has 6 cores, and
why don't they call them fatherboards?
I don't know. But this is the motherboard here, though. But that's a good question.
Thank you.
They actually also have daughter boards. I don't know why they don't call them sons.
It's none of my business. I'm married.
Probably that's relevant. But otherwise, so we're going to start everything. Sometimes we just want to do recordings. Other times we want to restart some stuff. But here we're going to start everything. And you can see the script that's running. It sends an email to Maricela to let her know that the recording is about to happen. Turns on the going on air.
They double click a script he wrote. I bet it's a fucking batch file. No, this fucking dipshit. It sends an email to let her know recording's about to be started. Hit record. What's going on?
At the website, so now everybody knows that we're on air if you visit the website. Turns on 4 different virtual computers from this computer.
Hold on, let's go back.
Probably that's relevant, but otherwise, so we're going to start everything. Sometimes we just want to do recordings. Other times we want to restart some stuff. But here we're going to start everything. And you can see the script that's running. It sends an email to Maricela to let her know that the recording is about to happen. Turns on the going on air sign at the website. So now everybody knows that we're on air if you visit the website. Turns on 4 different virtual computers from this computer. So now I already started the
That's pretty automated.
It's one click. One click starts everything.
Wow.
I bet you got a double click.
So now the virtual computers are already turned on, but they would be firing up here if they weren't already on. And you can see as they turn on, we got something here.
Where'd she come from?
And we got all the cameras turned on right now, and they slowly fire up. And as the script continues to run, we're going to get the chat room turned on. So here's the chat room. You can see that each one of the cameras are being turned on. me switch to camera 3 here. And what it does is it automates the clicks as if it's a person logging in. So it's turning on the camera on this virtual computer. So we got 1, 2, 3 virtual computers, full computers within this one computer. So it clicks the buttons that you guys would normally have to click to get into the chat room. And then it'll click this button, select the camera that it needs to come. And all this is automated through the scripts that I wrote. But what we're hoping to do is get that fifth camera
turned on.
And so you see here's the video camera. It's going to click OK, and then this camera will turn on. And so if let's see, it just takes a few seconds.
Imagine all this.
One of the toughest parts about automating everything is making sure that that the window did come up before I actually click on something. Because I don't want it to break. So it's a lot of pausing. Pause for 30 seconds. Pause for 10 seconds.
Sounds awesome.
Come up. And then this is a camera that they can check themselves in. So let's see if we switch to camera 4. That's us. So you want to make sure you look good on camera. That's it. Looking good. Looking good. And there's Danny. That's Danny right there. That's Danny. You're looking good. No.
By the way, you heard him right. These are he called USB extension cords USB repeaters. So maybe he has USB repeaters, but I doubt it. That means all their cameras are just fucking webcam USB'd. Like, okay. Who set this up? Who told them to do it like this? Her brother should be fucking hung.
And that's the shot we want.
I'm gonna vomit.
And that's Hamda's butt. And then we got the room camera up here. So we got that one room camera up there again. And that's it. So now there's one more piece to it. Sorry, not that. There's one more piece. So when everything's over, show's over, all the laughs are done.
All the laughs are done.
Minimize this, and we turn off everything. Call it fin. So this will actually shut down the recordings, re-encode the video to the codec that we need, and then upload them all up to Amazon so that we have the files for Maricela to download them. It emails Maricela special links that she's got so that she can download each one of the links. She downloads them, sets them up on her computer, and that's the process. And it's one click to turn everything on.
Let me ask you something, Michael.
One to turn off.
Now, we have a mirror.
So let me get this straight. They pull in webcams into different virtual machines. They then make a video out of all those synced together and encode it into a format, like as a batch file afterwards. Upload that to Amazon. Send an email to the girl in the next room so she can download it from Amazon and then work with it.
Handle all these hours.
As it is right now, no.
Oh, marathon canceled.
No. We actually are going to get a new server. With the new server, we'll be able to handle all the hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why this Kickstarter is so important.
Why could a machine handle 4 hours and not be able to handle 24? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, who's buying this shit?
It's the most important to me because
it's kind of like important things you have at home.
I don't have to keep waking up in the middle of the night to make sure that the cameras are on.
We call you a lot.
Yeah, and I was getting just as much sleep as you guys were because the cameras kept failing, and it's going to make me the happiest part. This is the most fun for me, that the server's going to run.
So deep down, let me say, Michael, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So in 2015, in their 10th year of podcasting, Keith and the girl had no one in the same time zone they could call to ask about cameras. They had to keep waking up a guy in California because cameras kept failing.
Chat can't handle. Server, not enough cores. Is anyone buying this? Anyone? I'm not. Guys, it's been a great night here. It's creeping up on 2 a.m. as the crow flies. And I just gotta start moseying my way to bed. It's my birthday. I had a big day. Daddy had a big fun day. Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. Lots coming at you. Join Rockfin, rockfin.com, ROKFIN. Look for us under the comedy section. Subscribe today. It really helps the show out. We get money, of course, but also watch PM in the AM every Tuesday and Thursday morning. It's a different kind of show. I can promise you that. Join the Overdose, of course. That's always appreciated. Use promo code THANKS to save 10%. Give the show a like today if you're watching now live or later. That's always appreciated as well. And why not help yourself to something over at our store, nobodylikesonions.com/store. We got a lot of new fresh stuff, including the hat I'm rocking right now. Pick yourself up one. You're going to love the way you look. And if you don't worry about it. No refund.
Your manner is most unbecoming of a gentleman. Would you be high on cigarettes?
I don't know if the comedy hasn't hit them yet. They're full-blown retarded or just high on cigarettes.
A question posed to stupid hoes who don't get it yet. Excuse me, miss. Are you high on cigarettes? I don't know if the comedy hasn't hit them yet. They're full-blown retarded or just high on cigarettes. All the laughter that you decoy if you listen to the show, boy. Patrick melting faces have you stacking an low point. It's the low point, not the reason. The reason is fucking gold. Gonna make the Taco Pony party be a party of soul. To make you vandalize a van with a pedo sticker so bold the family probably get arrested before they get down the road. Or stupid motherfuckers just got NL loaned. Other radio shows are straight bitch mail prone. Talk shit on the onions that nobody like past. Have my homeboy lame prank call him fast. Have him thinking that he hates them like right before he berates them. And the way that he baits him, put him right on.